Hello all. Today I will be taking a session in the subject of engineering mechanics. In engineering mechanics, we have done some videos, about 11 videos earlier, and now we are coming into the next video. That is, this video is regarding the second chapter, that is the beams and supports. In the series of in this chapter, that is in beams and supports, this is the fourth video I am doing. Let us go into the details of this session now. Before going into the actual session, let us have a recap of the earlier what we have done earlier. That is, what is a beam? We have defined a beam as a horizontal structural member which is subjected to the transverse load, that is perpendicular to its axis. Similarly, we have seen what are different types of beams, that is different types of beams, that is a simply supported beam, a cantilever beam, a continuous beam, overhang beam, fixed beam, and also a proper cantilever. Then we have seen what are the different types of supports, that is roller and hinge, and what are the possible reactions, that is reactions to the force and reactions to the moments at each support, that is at what are the possible reactions. That is, at a fixed support we have the moment as well as the vertical reaction, since both are restricted. Similarly, in case of a simple support, there will be only vertical reaction. There cannot be any movement because the turning is not restrained. It is free to turn. And we have also discussed that since we don't use any horizontal forces in beams, so we are not considering the horizontal equilibrium. So we are only concerned with vertical equilibrium of vertical forces, equilibrium of movements. Therefore, we solve our problems by taking the help of only the two equilibrium conditions. If the problem is cannot be solved by two equilibrium conditions, those types of beams are called as statically indeterminate beams. But here we are dealing with the statically determined beams, that is we can solve using the two equilibrium conditions, that is sigma Fe is equal to 0, sigma m is equal to 0. So we have seen some numerical problems regarding the point load and cantilever beams. That is, what is the effect of a point load on cantilever beam. We have seen that whenever we apply any load on a beam, on a cantilever beam, only one support is having the reaction. Therefore, the vertical reaction Ra from downwards should be equal to the forces from the upwards. So simply if we sum the forces coming from the upwards, that will give the reaction. Or by taking the sigma Fe is equal to 0 and also sigma m is equal to 0, we can find out the reactions and moments at the support. And since it is the cantilever is having only one support, so all the reactions and all the moments we get at only the fixed support, that is generally we call it as A. The other end we call it as B, the free end. We have seen that reaction A will be equal to W and moment at A will be equal to W into the length WL. So for a cantilever beam with a point load at the end, we get reaction is equal to W and moment is equal to WL. And then we have seen we came to the topic of the uniformly distributed load on cantilever. As I said, when some load is evenly distributed along some distance, it is called the uniformly distributed load. So whenever uniformly distributed load is applied on any beam, the we will calculate the total load, that is intensity of load into the distance will give you the total load applied on the beam, and we calculate the moment treating as the total load acting at its midpoint, that is at the middle of the beam or middle of the loading rather. Then we will take the moment from that point, treating the UDL as single point load at a distance of d by 2, and the magnitude of point load will be equal to intensity of loading into the distance over which it has been applied. So we can see this illustration, that is W per meter load for L length can be treated as WL, a single load of WL acting at a distance of L by 2. That is how we treat the UDL for solving the problems. The entire load of uniformly distributed load is always assumed to be acting at the middle of its length, that is about its centroid. Since we have not dealt with centroids, so I will say it is the midpoint of the beam. It is the midpoint of the loading. So when we load only up to some length of the beam, that length divided by 2 will give you the midpoint of the loading. Magnitude will be equal to intensity multiplied by the length of the loading. The loading need not be throughout the length of the beam. So the only portion up to which we have applied the load, we will multiply that distance into intensity to get the total load applied on the beam. So we have seen what are the reactions at the fixed end when a uniformly varying load of uniformly distributed load of W kilonewton per meter is applied on full beam, that is throughout the length L. Then we have seen the reaction at R will be equal to W into L. The total intensity of load W kilonewtons per meter into L meters will give you WL. Similarly, the total load WL will be acting at its midpoint, so it is L by 2. Therefore, the moment will be WL into L by 2, that is WL square by 2 kilonewton meter. This is how we find the reactions and moments of a uniformly distributed load on cantilever wheel. Then we will go into actual numerical problem so that we can understand the subject well. That is, the concept will be easily understood by after solving this type of problem. So let us see this example. That is, a cantilever beam of 4 meters length is loaded with a UDL of 10 kilonewtons per meter. So throughout the entire length, find the reactions. The reaction is, that is the force reaction and the moment reaction. Both the reactions we are finding out. For this, first of all, by our observation, let us calculate what is the total load. By seeing, we know it is 10 kilonewtons per meter applied for an entire length of 4 meters. So 10 kilonewton per meter into 4 meters will give you the total load, that is it should be 40 kilonewtons. Therefore, since the beam is fixed at N, moment and reaction are produced only at A. Taking our equilibrium condition 1, that is sigma Fv is equal to 0, we have the downward force as W into L, that is force into distance is the intensity of loading into distance will give you the load, and minus Ra. Therefore, Ra will be equal to WL, that is W is 40 into L, W is 10 kilonewton per meter and L is 4 meters. Therefore, it will be 40 kilonewtons. So, 4 kilonewton, 10 kilonewton per meter into 4 meters will give you 40 kilonewtons reaction. This is how we get the reaction. That is, as we discussed earlier also, the cantilever has only one support, so entire load will be taken by that support. Therefore, the reaction at Ra will be equal to the whatever load you impose on the beam. That is, in this case, we have applied a load of 10 kilonewton per meter over the length of 4 meters. Therefore, the entire load will be equal to intensity of load into the length. Therefore, it is W kilonewton per meter into meter, that is L meters. So therefore, we will get W is the total weight or total load is equal to intensity of load into distance, that is WL. Therefore, we get W is 10 and L is 4. Therefore, we get 40 kilonewtons as the reaction. If we move on to the moments, we know the second equilibrium equation, that is sigma m is equal to 0. That is, sum of the moments at support is equal to 0 because the beam is in the equilibrium condition. So the condition of equilibrium, the second condition of equilibrium is sigma m is equal to 0. Therefore, we see that the moment is load into the distance where it is acting. Earlier also we have discussed that the load is considered to be acting at its midpoint, that is middle of the loading. Here the middle of the loading is 4 by 2, 4 meters by half of the length, 4 meters by 2. Therefore, the entire load of 40 kilonewtons is acting along 2 meters. Force is WL, distance is L by 2. Therefore, the moment will be equal to WL square by 2. That is, moment is equal to WL square by 2 is equal to 80 kilonewton meter. Simply by seeing the 40 kilonewton is assumed to be acting at 2 meters. Therefore, 40 into 2 meters will give you 80 kilonewton meter. That is the moment. Therefore, reaction at A is 40 kilonewtons and moment at A is 80 kilonewton meter. These are the values we get after solving the problem. We will move on to some other example. That is, another example where we apply two different intensities of loading on beam. Then we will see what will happen. That is, what would be the reactions and moments if two separate intensities of loading at two different distances are applied. So this problem illustrates the another possibility of loading on a beam. That is, the load can be loaded, the beam can be loaded anyhow. That is, there is no rule that we have to apply only a constant load throughout. The beam may have different loads at different portions. Therefore, at some portion, it is at one portion it is 10 kilonewton per meter, and at another portion it is 30 kilonewton per meter. That is, the first portion is 3 meters and second portion is 2 meters. So let us take this example. A cantilever beam of 5 meters length is loaded with UDL of 10 kilonewton per meter for 3 meters and 30 kilonewton per meter for remaining 2 meters from the fixed end of the beam. That is, respectively, they are loaded for 10 kilonewton is loaded for 3 meters, and from then onwards for other remaining portion 2 meters, the 30 kilonewton per meter load is applied. Then the solution would be like this. Since the beam is fixed at A, the moment and reaction will be produced at A, because whenever we deal with cantilever beams, the both reaction and moment will be only at A, because the other end is free. It is free to rotate, free to move. Therefore, there cannot be any reaction either to the forces or to the movements. Since there are two uniformly distributed loads and one reaction, we have three forces. That is, one for the one type of UDL, second reaction for the second force for the second type of UDL, and third will be the reaction. Therefore, we can say F1 plus F2 minus RA is equal to 0. That is, force 1 due to one UDL, force 2 to another UDL, and RA due to the reaction. Since these applied forces are coming from top, we consider as they are coming downwards. Therefore, we consider them as positive, and the reaction is from the downwards going up. Therefore, we consider it as negative. Therefore, the algebraic sum will be W1 plus W2, or force 1 plus force 2 minus RA. That is, two forces are coming from up and one force is going from down. That means two forces are added and the reaction force is subtracted. Therefore, we consider it as force 1 plus force 2 minus RA is equal to 0. But force 1 is equal to, as we said, total force or total weight W1 is equal to the intensity of load of first UDL into the distance through which it is applied. Here the UDL is 10 kilonewton per meter intensity and its length is 3 meters. Therefore, it is 10 into 3, 30 kilonewtons. So, total load in this portion, that is in 3 meters portion, is 30 kilonewtons. Therefore, we got W1 into L1 is 10 into 3 plus W2 L2 is equal to 30 into 2, that is 60 kilonewton weight is in this 2 meters portion. 30 kilo total weight of 30 kilonewton per meter into 2, that is 60 kilonewtons is being borne by this 2 meters portion, and 30 kilonewtons weight is borne by this 3 meters portion. So entire this 3 meters portion is having only 30 kilonewtons force, while this small 2 meters portion is having 60 kilonewton force. Their point of application will be at half of this 3 and half of this 2, that is at 1.5 meters this 30 kilonewtons force will be acting, 60 kilonewton force will be acting at its center. That means at 1 meter, at half of this 2 meters, that is 1 meter from this portion will be 1 meter, the other portion will be 1 meter. At the center it will be acting. So the total load will be equal to 30, 10 into 3 30 plus 30 into 2 60, That is why we got 10 into 3 and 30 into 2, 90 kilonewtons. By simply by looking at the figure, we can find out, we can simply calculate mentally that it is 10 into 3, 30 plus 30 into 2, 60, that is 90 kilonewtons load is applied on the cantilever beam. Therefore, the reaction should be 90 kilonewtons. So, Ra is equal to 90 kilonewtons. Simply, after some practice, we will be able to find out simply by observation. No need of working out on the paper and pen or using the calculator. Simply by observation, we can mentally calculate the resultant. Similarly, if we take the sigma m is equal to 0, that is sum of the moments at A we consider. So the first force is acting, that if we consider it is W1, this L1, so force will be W1 L1 acting at L by 2. That is why we have written W1 L1 into L1 by 2. And second force will be W2 L2. W2 L2 acting at L by 2. L by 2 from here, because L2 has started from after 3 meters, it is acting at center, that is L2 by 2. But as we take the moment from A, the distance from A to this center point of the loading we have to take into the consideration. Therefore, this distance will be equal to first distance L1 plus L2 by 2. We have to come to the center of 30 kilonewton per meter load. That is why we have to cross this initial load, that is 10 kilonewton per meter in this case. That is, we have to cross L1 and then we have to cross L2 by 2. So the total distance we come here is equal to L1 plus L2 by 2. That is the half of the second force. That is why it is W1 L1 into L1 by 2 plus W2 L2 is total force into the distance will be total distance minus only half of the distance, or we can otherwise say that the portion of first distance L1 plus L2 by 2, anything we can say, that is total length is L, therefore we are subtracting a small half portion of the L2. Anyhow, it will be same. That is why we have said total length minus half of the total length minus half of this portion. So it will give you the distance. Therefore, L minus L2 by 2, that is W1 L1 square by 2, that is 10 into 3 square by 2 plus 30 into 2 is this force, and the distance will be equal to 3 plus 1 or 5 minus 1, that is 4 meters. Therefore, it is 10 into 3 square by 2, that is 5 into 3 square, 5 nines are 45, and this is 8 3s are 24, 240 kilonewton, that is 60 into 4, 240 kilonewtons meters. Therefore, if we add M1 and M2, that is moment due to the first UDL and moment due to the second UDL, 45 plus 240, then we will come up to 285 kilonewton meter. That is the moment produced by these two forces. This figure we can treat it, we can convert like this. That is the 10 kilonewtons for 3 meters, we can assume it to be 30 kilonewtons load, and also 30 kilonewton per meter into 2 meters, we can assume it as 60 kilonewtons load. Similarly, since it is acting at half of the distance, this distance will be 1.5 meters, that is 3 by 2, L1 by 2 we have taken. Similarly, the second midpoint is 3 plus 2 by 2, it is 4 meters. So we can consider it like this. So this figure we can consider as this figure, that is the second figure. This figure with point loads is equivalent to this point figure with UDL. So to get a clear idea, we first let us convert this into convert the UDLs into point loads and place their distances at the appropriate places, that is their half of their point of half of their lengths where they are applied. Those will become the moment centers. That is where from we take the moments. That is why this 30 kN is acting at half of the 3 meters, that is 1.5 meters. Similarly, this 60 kN is acting at half of 2 meters, that is 1 meter plus 3 meters, that is 4 meters. That is how we can represent a UDL figure with UDL as figure with replaced with point loads and the appropriate distances of their center of movements. Actually, this is I have given it for explanation so that it will be easily understandable. Otherwise, in normal working we don't do like that. But mentally we will have a picture similar to this. That is, this can be treated like this, but it is not correct to do like this. But we can assume it to be like this. So here we have some observations. The moment center of 10 kilonewton meter UDL is taken at its midpoint, hence M1 is equal to F1 D1, that is 10 into 3 into 3 by 2. 3 by 2 is its midpoint. The moment center of the 30 kilonewton per meter UDL is taken at its midpoint at 2 by 2. Since the moment is taken at A, the distance between A and the midpoint of the second UDL is 3 plus 2 by 2. We should not forget. Many students, even after many classes, they commit this mistake because they don't understand the concept clearly. That is, the moment is taken from the center of the load. So we have to take only the center of the load from the point where the moment is taken, not only the center portion of that load. That is, here we cannot take 2 by 2. The D1, the distance from which the moment is calculated, is not 1 meter. It is not, the moment is not calculated after the first load. We are calculating the moment at A. So we have to be clear that the moment center is from A, not from the end of the first load. That is why if you take the center of the second load after first load, then we will get 1 meter. But it is wrong. We have to take it after crossing the first load, then only we have to take the half of the second load, half of length of the second load. Then only the distance will be correct. Therefore, the moment center from A will be equal to 3 plus 2 by 2, that is 4 meters from this. So we have to be careful while taking the moments of the load of the UDL which is away from the support, that is at A. So therefore here we have to be clear that the moment center is at A. Here this 60 kilonewton should be acting at a distance of 4 meters, not 1 meter from A. Since the moment is taken at A, we have to be clear that what is the distance between the point of application of the force and its distance. Otherwise, the problem will become, it will be wrong. Now we will come to another example, that is the combination of a point load and UDL. We have seen some problems using only point loads, and also we have seen today two examples using the UDL, that is a single UDL and two UDLs. Now we will go further into the complex problem, that is we are taking one point load and one UDL, so that we will see how would be the reactions. Then let us consider this example. A cantilever beam of 5 meters length is loaded with a UDL of 50 kilonewton per meter for 3 meters from the fixed support. So initially, starting from the fixed support, we have loaded the beam at a rate of 50 kilonewtons per meter for only up to 3 meters. Then we have placed a point load of 100 kilonewtons, a point load of 100 kilonewtons at the free end of the beam. So we have to find the reactions. That is, we have placed two loads, that is point load at the end and also the 50 kilonewton per meter intensity for the first 3 meters of the beam starting from the fixed end. Then here, if we see by observation, what are the total forces on the beam? One is 100 kilonewtons, it is clear. The second force is 50 kilonewton per meter for 3 meters. Therefore, 50 into 3, it will be 150 kilonewton load. So 150 kilonewtons of UDL, that is UDL converted into a point load, and 100 kilonewtons of actual point load. Then total load will be 250 kilonewtons. And also, if we here, if we see the beams, that is 5 kilonewtons, and these beams, the cantilever beam with two loads, 100 kilonewtons point load. We can also calculate the moment mentally by looking at the figure. That is 100 into 5 meters plus 150 into 1.5 meters. That is from the center. This load is acting at the center. That is 50 kilonewton per meter load is acting at the midpoint. Therefore, the distance is 1.5 meters. The load is 150 kilonewtons. 150 kilonewtons into 1.5 meters will give you 225 kNm, and also 100 into 5 will give you 500 kNm. So total should be equal to 725 kNm. So the reaction force RA is equal to 250 and moment should be equal to 725. But we will solve it by using our general analysis. Since the beam is fixed at A and moment and reaction will be produced only at A, there are one uniformly distributed load W1, one point load W, and reaction RA. Therefore, if we consider our equilibrium condition sigma Fv is equal to 0, then we will see that F1 plus F2 minus RA is equal to 0. That is force 1, that is due to UDL, and second one is force 2, that is due to point load, and third one is the reaction. Since the point load and UDL are applied on top of the beam, they are acting downwards and the reaction is acting upwards. We know the notation, that is W1 plus W2 minus RA is equal to 0. Therefore, the first load will be equal to W1 L1 because it is UDL. Intensity of load into length will give you the total weight, and point load, the total weight is applied to the point, only the weight will be there, and minus RA. Therefore, RA is equal to W1 L1 plus W. Since W1 is 50, L1 is 3, 50 and L1 is 3, we have W1 L1 150 plus 100, that is 250 kilonewtons. So total load on the beam is 250 kilonewtons. Therefore, the reaction will be equal to 250 kilonewtons. Similarly, if we take the moment, we have three moments. That is, one moment produced by the UDL, the other moment produced by the point load, and the third moment is internal moment, which is opposing this moment due to the external loads. Therefore, sigma m is equal to 0. The first force will be W1 L1 acting at L1 by 2. That is why W1 L1 into L1 by 2 plus second force is acting at a distance of full length because it is applied at the end of the free end of the beam. So it is L, and the third moment will be MA, that is acting anti-clockwise at A. Therefore, MA is equal to W1 L1 square by 2 plus WL, that is small w1, intensity of load into L1 square, that is length L1 into L1 by 2, that is L1 square by 2 plus W into total length. That is why we get 50 into 3 square by 2, that is 25 into 9, 225 plus 100 into 5, 500, that is 725 kilonewton meters. Therefore, the reactions at A will be equal to 250 kilonewtons and moment at MA is equal to 725. Here, this figure we can treat it as the equivalent figure will be, we can draw an equivalent figure like this. That is the total load W W1 or this load due to UDL is 50 into 3, that is 150 kN, and this is 100 kN. So two point loads of 100 kilonewtons and 150 kilonewtons. We have to see how to position the loads. Since 100 kilonewtons is point load placed at the end of the beam, we don't have any problem with placing the 100 kilonewton set and at the end of the beam. The only problem arises when where to place this 150 kilonewton point load. We know for UDL it will be acting at the center of the loading. That is, since the loading is 3 meters, it should be acting at the center, that is 1.5. That is why in this figure it is being placed at 1.5 meters. So 150 kilonewtons is placed at 1.5 meters distance, 100 kilonewtons is placed at 3 meters plus 2 meters. That is, this is 2 meters and the total length at the end of the beam. The total length of the beam is being 5 meters. It is placed at the end. That is why we have got the total load as 150 plus 100, 250 kilonewtons. That is why the reaction is 250 kilonewtons. Similarly, if we calculate the moment, it will be 100 into 5, 500 plus 150 into 1.5, that is 225. 150 into 1.5 is 225. So 500 plus 225 will give you 725 kN. 725 kN. due to this 150 kilonewton load, we got 150 into 1.5, that is 225 kilonewton meter one moment. The other moment is due to 100 kilonewtons, that is at a distance of 5 meters. Therefore we got 500. Summing them, because they are both are clockwise movements, since they are coming from top, they are giving clockwise movement. Therefore we have added them as 225 plus 500, that is 725 kilonewton meters. This is how we solve the problems of on. So let us have a small observation, that is the moment center of 50 kilonewton per meter UDL is taken as its midpoint. Hence it is load is 50 into 3 into this half, 3 by 2 is its distance. So 225 kilonewton meter is come. The moment center of 100 kilonewton point load is taken at its point of application. That is, since the moment is taken at A, the distance between A and the location of point load is 3 plus 2 meters, 5 meters. Hence M2 is F2 D2, that is force is 100 kilonewtons and D2 is 3 plus 2, that is 5 meters. So 100 into 5 we get 500 kilonewton meter. So we have summed it to get the 725 kilonewton meter moment. This is how we calculate the moments and reactions of a cantilever beam. So whatever may be the loads, we can calculate. After this session, we should be able to solve any type of problem, that is either point load, a single point load, or some several point loads, or UDL, a single UDL, or some different UDLs, or combinations of UDL and point load. These 5 varieties, that is 5 combinations can be there, either single point load or multiple point loads, single UDL, multiple UDLs, or point loads and UDLs combined together. So these 3 types of problems are possible. Therefore we have dealt all the 3 types. Then in the next session we will be, let us move to the next topic, that is the reactions in simply supported beams. So here, because we have started in a gradual manner, therefore here we have taken the easiest of the solutions, that is the cantilever. So we have started with cantilever and point load, then gradually increased the level of difficulty, that is cantilever beam with uniformly distributed load. Then we have seen the combination of them, and in the next class we will see what are the effects of applied forces on the supports of simply supported beam. I hope from this session you could be able to understand how to calculate the reactions from point loads and from UDLs on a cantilever beam. And this brings us to the end of this session. Thank you one and all, and we will meet in the next session with the simply supported beams. And as usual, we start with a single point load and then gradually increase the difficulty, the level of difficulty, to multiple point loads, and then we will calculate what is the effect of UDL, and also similarly we will see, as we have seen in the case of cantilever, the combination of different loads. Till then, thank you for being with me. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.